been so bad with mental health, you know, suicide attempts, and it's been a bad place. But for me, I like to talk about that. And being young as well, I want people to know, young people especially, it's okay to talk about it.
That's so good.
It's okay to be not. It's okay to not be okay. You know, you have to talk about it.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Big Chat. And it's lovely to be with you all this Friday. I'm so excited. We had 100th episode last week, and so this is the first. I feel like this is the first of a new century of episodes, and it's just fabulous. It's just great. I'm loving doing these episodes. They don't always come out in the order that we're talking, but I'm going to be talking to someone this morning that reached out actually, and I can't quite believe how fabulous they are. These fabulous people seem to find us, and they're incredibly inspirational. And it seemed very fitting that this episode would go out on a certain day, because I'm very proud to introduce you to Valentine.
Hello.
Singer, songwriter, artist, rapper. I mean, look at him. Valentine, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
So, I mean, tell me, when we first spoke, via the grams of Insta.
the gram, yeah.
The great gram up in the sky. But when we did, you said, I'd love to come on and have a chat with you. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know much about you, but I love that. It's awesome.
Spontaneous, isn't it?
It totally is, sent to me, and I love that. It was brilliant. So straight away I was like, yes, this sounds fantastic. Get in touch with my team. And now here you are, and this is great. And your name is I know it's your name, but Valentine. It's just... Yeah,
I get that. The Valentine thing. So I'm born on Valentine's Day. So obviously it kind of coincides with the day I'm born.
Funny
and
that.
It goes with what I didn't, when I first started rapping, and I started with my brother, and my first rap name was B.R, which goes with my government name. And
okay.
But I thought,
I like that government name. I'm going to use that. So, next time someone says you're not Coco, I'm going to say, it's not my government name is something different.
Yeah.
I like that.
Government name. So Valentine, it kind of, after going through what I went through with music, because I started with my brother, and then that kind of went Pete Tong a little bit. And then I was with Lee Wills. Do you know Lee Williams? Very good artist. And I just thought being independent was what I needed to be for music. And so I was like, what do I call myself? Where do I go? I didn't know what to do. I was on Google search engines trying to find rap names, and it was terrible. And I just thought, you know what? I'm born on Valentine's Day, so I'm going to call myself Valentine.
I love that. I love that. And it's you, and I mean, you look the part today, sir.
Thank you.
You've got very nice glasses on.
I know. Edney and Edney.
We've got to mention the glasses. Edney and Edney are proudly sponsoring some of these episodes around mental health that we've been doing, but also we're talking to a lot of people that we're collaborating with. But we are rather lucky that we've both got some Edney. I
know, they're very stylish, and I'm like,
You're not getting them back, are you?
I might forget to return them. I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, Jamie and Ayshah.
Yeah, sorry.
They do look great though, don't they? So tell me, start at the beginning. I'm a newbie.
Okay,
this is our first chat. Talk to me.
So obviously Tunbridge Wells is where I, reside. Grown up, been to school here. It's a massive part of my heart. Obviously London as well, but that's my family, and so. But this is where I've been and grown. Yeah. So my dad brought me up on my own most of my life. I have my mum; she's still around, and I'm close with her, and I see my brothers, but it was more my dad that brought me up.
Okay.
So I went into fighting. I was a mixed martial artist for a very long time, few years, and that kind of got me out of my mental health struggle.
Okay.
So I lost my brother when I was 11, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, that it was past times, and it's
still
what makes you stronger, right?
Yeah.
So I lost him in a car accident, and that I was so young and he was so close to me that I didn't really grieve until I was later in my teens. Yeah. So I didn't know what grief was at the time. Even at the funeral, I didn't know what was going on. It was just like crazy. And then when I got into my late teens, that's when the grief started coming in, and that's when the mental health started coming in, and I really struggled for a few years. I got caught up on a few bad things and drugs, and it was, you know, my life was going into turmoil. So I found mixed martial arts. Colson Gracie Kent, I'd like to shout out to, because they did save my life. They saved my life, as well as my ex-partner. She was great, and I'm still very close with her. And she's, you know, she's a very close person to me, and she was also a big part in helping form who I am now and what I'm going for today. But yeah, so I went into the mixed martial arts side, and that changed my mindset. Gave me more of a meaning in life, sort of not a meaning, but more to chase things and go for stuff instead of like just dwelling on things. I think a lot of people that struggle with mental health, they dwell on things a lot, you know, and staying in the same spot is not healthy. So yeah, the mixed martial arts, and then I was run over. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So listen, I was a yoga teacher and I got hit by an ambulance.
Okay.
I mean, we're in good company.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just about to go off and be a yoga teacher, hit by an ambulance. There was no more headstands after that.
I mean, I suppose you couldn't have been hit by a better vehicle in the sense that it was an ambulance.
They put me in the ambulance, and then when I said, I'm a yoga teacher, I know that something's wrong with my neck, they went, we have to get you another ambulance.
Oh, okay. So you had to wait for another one.
But yeah, but it's interesting how life intervenes is what I'm getting at. So continue, please.
So yeah, I obviously was run over, and it kind of...
Were you okay? I mean, obviously you're okay.
I've got a few bad injuries, a couple scars. But yeah, that made me think, okay, can I carry on with mixed martial arts? Do I want to carry on? Because my body now, you know, doctors were telling me, professionals, I went to Harley Street and they were like, look, you're going to have osteoarthritis in your knees by the time you're 50. You're going to be able to have to retire 10 years early. And it was just like, what can I do? And again, the mindset for mixed martial arts was, I can't sit still. If I sit still now, I'm going to fall apart, and something bad might happen, or I might do something bad to myself. So it was like, what's the next best thing for me? And my older brother, he's always been rapping, and I always used to listen to him. When I was out with my friends, I always used to steal his lyrics and spit them to my friends and be like, yeah, this is me, mate. You know, this is what my mates used to be like, yeah, you're well cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's me, mate. I'm like, cheers, bro. You know, cheers.
My sister used to steal my underwear. I'm just going to put that one out there. So I hope anyone enjoyed that. But, you know, that's fantastic. You did. That's the biggest form of flattery is someone when they do that. So you're flattering your older brother by
he's
him,
like I say, we went through a bit of a bad patch, me and him, but you know, we're best mates, and I still look up to him today. And whether he thinks I don't or not, he still has that older brother. I know best. You know, stop trying to act like the older brother. That's me. And I'm like, bro, I'm getting a little bit older now. You know, I'm getting a little bit more smarter now. But he gave me the talent. He taught me.
Did he?
Yeah, he taught me music, and he taught me how to write lyrics and listen to melodies and hooks. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing the music.
Wow.
You know?
And what's his name?
His name is Daryl.
Yeah.
D.R.
And your younger brother, what was his name?
I've got many younger brothers.
How many younger brothers have you
I've got 7 brothers all in all.
You've got 7 brothers?
Yes, I have a very big family.
Your brother that passed away?
Danny, he was older.
Okay, he was older.
Yeah, he was the same age as Daryl, so he was.
Wow.
Yeah, they're both 10 years older than me, so 36.
Goodness me.
But he was young. He was 21 when he passed.
That's really, really tough.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's a lot. Wow. So I mean, is this a creative flow in your family that is running through it? Because I have a few friends that are creatives and artists, and it does seem to weave in and out. Where does this? What does your dad? Your mum?
I think my dad more so, or with the talents.
Yeah.
He was a gymnast, and then he was a martial artist himself.
Yeah.
Footballer, amazing football coach.
Yeah.
Very well known.
Yeah.
For football, mostly football.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm out, I've got people that I don't know that are like, oh, you know, you're so and so's boy, and I'm like, yeah, that's my. Do I know who you are? No, but I know your dad, and he refs us at the wheel. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, cheers, mate. So I think, it mostly comes, but then my cousin's like, my younger cousin's shooting for the Olympics at the moment.
Wow.
So he's the GB team, shall I say? So he's doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you say, it just comes in flows. I mean, some of the family are talented, some are business, some are just doing what they're doing. Like, I don't know. I don't know where it comes from.
Comes from the soul.
I think it does.
So when you were started being, when you were taking inspiration from your older brother, and you were stealing his lyrics.
I know.
Naughty.
Sorry, bro.
But when
sorry about that.
So when did you get your flavour for your own Valentine style and start to really express yourself as an individual artist?
So I was doing Junction 5 with Lee for a little while, and
how old were you then?
Oh,
I mean, you look really young.
I'm 26 next week.
So, like, I get him off. I don't want him on. I want him off now. Like, that's just no. That's amazing.
Yeah, but I feel old. Like, people are like,
you're wise. You have that air about you that's mature and wise. You've got that kind of aura. But that's 20. You're 26. That's young.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
You're good.
I'm not sure my body's telling me I'm 26. Like, gets a little harder to get out of bed in the morning each day, but yeah.
So when did you start? When you started?
I started music, so I come out of fighting, I think, at about 21, 22.
Okay.
When I had the accident. And then music, I've always been in it.
Yeah.
From watching my brother when I was like young. I've always been in the music. It's always been there. And then after the Junction 5, I was probably about 23, 24 maybe.
Yeah.
2 years ago, so 24.
Wow.
And I was like, things weren't going so great. My cousin and Lee had a baby. It was a lot of stress on their shoulders to keep doing what we was doing. And so I was like, I can't be held back by that. And it's not their fault, and I'm not saying it's their fault, but you know, it's like they're not in a space where they have to, that they can chase, or he isn't, shall I say. And so I was like, I need to go on my own. And it was a calling. I think it was more, I need to prove to myself that I can do this for myself. You know, with all the hardship and adversity that I've overcome throughout the years of growing so far, it was more, can I do this on my own? Am I confident enough? And
and you are.
I'm here today.
Exactly, you are. And I mean, so going back to it's amazing. It's you know, and I really admire your honesty and openness. And I'm sorry that you experienced that. My partner lost his brother when he was very young, and it's you know, he's still having the impacts of it to this day, and he's got 30 years on you. Sorry, I've revealed his age to everyone, but
you're still young.
Yeah,
you know?
He's still young. They say you're as young as the woman you feel, so he's all right, you know. But at the end of the day, it's sorry, I have to say something serious followed by something funny. But it's to go through something like that, like you say, and then you have those repercussions, those mental health. How did you, as a young man, how did that sort of present itself before you reached out to those martial arts? Because I think that's really valid for people to hear and know.
Like I say, I turned to drugs when I was going through my teenage years, you know, from 15 to sort of 18. It was really bad.
So you were numbing.
I was numbing, by going out, weekends, weekdays, you know, just hitting all sorts and partying. And it was, you know, I still go out and have a party now, but there's more of a limit to it. And it's not like it was.
You're partying for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly. It was I didn't know what to turn to. Obviously Dad brought me up, but he had to go out and make money for the food, and he was never really around as such. So it was like I brought myself up from a very young age.
It's really interesting talking to you because my son is 13 and I'm best friends with his father. We co-parent our son and daughter, but he stays with his dad now during the week. And I found that really hard as a mother because he's 13, but he's at secondary school. His dad lives up the road from his school and he loves it. And his dad's funny. He's so funny. Yeah. But it is that, you know, I get like a weekly date with him and I get him every other weekend, but he's basically being brought up by his father and who's an incredible man, but he's also bringing himself up and every time I see him, he's matured even more, you know, and he seems very solid, and it's nice for me to hear that. It's a nice message for me to hear.
Yeah, it's good that you have that relationship as well with Dad, obviously, because my parents, they wasn't as such like that.
Yeah, not everyone has that. It's quite unique, I know.
And that can really mess you up as a kid as well.
Absolutely.
You can't turn to one parent because you feel like the other parent feels bad about it. And it's good that you have that relationship, and it's good to keep that as well, because
but the bigger picture is the kids for us. We were always like, even when we were together, we were like, we're not going to be that couple that sits opposite each other at a table and just goes, Do you know what I mean? It was like as soon as you stop being like that, it's like I can still love my children's father, but not have to be with him.
No, of course,
and vice versa. But it doesn't work that way for any. And I think, like you pointed on there, that can really affect young people's mental health when their parents split up or when things happen. And you know, I definitely, when I lost my father, I definitely used, you know, alcohol to numb. You know, like I said to you when you came in, you beautifully presented me with a bottle of wine, which was so sweet.
No, that's all right. It was just to say
it looks
thank
like
you.
a really good one, but I won't be drinking it because I don't drink anymore. Because for me, that was my numbing agent, and it doesn't work for me anymore. It doesn't do what I wanted it to do. Yeah. You know? So and most people say I seem like I'm drunk when I'm sober anyway. So I don't really need it's energy, right?
You can get high off life, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what as long as you're happy and you smile and you can laugh.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else, you know.
No.
You don't.
Unless it's something you like to do, in which case I have no judgment on anything.
And it's the same as me, neither do I. It's, you know, each to their own, and you can enjoy what you want to enjoy in life, but keep it moderate.
Yeah, absolutely. You know. So your lyrics, if you're like stuff that you write when you're writing, do you get a lot of inspiration from your life story?
Yeah. So I'm going into like it's weird. The industry's a funny place. It's a very funny place.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very funny place. And what I haven't been in it for 6 years now, but it's looking where I'm at now. It's a very funny place, and they want you to like be so and so and do so and so, and it's like, do I have to do that?
Really?
It's scary. And don't get me wrong, the commercial stuff I don't mind doing because it's fun, it's clubby, it's poppy, and people like it. But I like the more heartfelt melodic rap.
Yeah,
that's what yes, inspiration comes from what I've been through. Yeah, also what other people are going through. because of where I've been, and I've been so bad in mental health. You know, suicide attempts, and it's been a bad place. But for me, I like to talk about that. And being young as well, I want people to know, young people especially, it's okay to talk about it.
That's so good.
It's okay to be not. It's okay to not be okay. You know, you have to talk about it. And I think there's an arrogance in young people where they're like, I can't talk about it. It's not good. It makes me feel like this. It makes me look like this. And it's like, no, just talk.
Vulnerability is okay. It's like, you know, it's just as you said. I mean, sorry that you went through that.
No.
And I had two attempted suicides when I was before the age of 15 on myself. Yeah. And you know, fortunately I'm still here, but I was in a very dark place when I was younger, up to about 15, 16, and it for many reasons, and I put on a brave face. I was like, you know, I was that fierce, no one will come near me, no one will get near me. You know, I didn't necessarily, I mean, I partied hard, I did all of that stuff. I got thrown out of every school, you know, I got thrown out of school.
Same, I'm the same.
I was like working when I was 17. I did all these things, but it's made me who I am today, and it's given me the empathy. I feel like it's a gift, really, because I've felt so deeply, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And back then, I mean, I'm 47, and when 30 years ago, it wasn't my parents' fault, but my parents weren't adept to talk about mental health the way that we are now. Now I can talk to my son and my daughter, and when I see my daughter doing millions of press-ups in the middle of the night, I just check in and I'm like, are you okay? Is everything okay? You know, and she's like, yeah, Mum, I just want to get some guns. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. But if she was doing that and she wasn't eating all day, you know, I was anorexic when I was younger. I lived on a cheese sandwich
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, but do you know what I mean? It's all these things, but no one talked about it.
No.
It was literally, I mean, I was put into care. I was put into I was signed into care because I was I just kept running away. I just ran away to London the whole time. I just like
that's your getaway, yeah.
I just jump out the window. I literally would
straight out the window. And
literally,
I'm gone,
I would jump out the window and run away.
But
and
then that was your anchor at that point, right?
Yeah.
That's what made you feel okay to do. So you've done it, right? And the older generation, shall I say, my nan, my dad, even my dad's still caught up on why do you feel like that? How are you? You know, and it's like it wasn't seen so much back then.
It wasn't,
and it's now coming into fruition in this generation more so, and the younger generations, that it is an illness.
Yes,
it is. It is like having anything else.
Yes,
it's just not seen.
Yeah, it's just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
And it does really affect you. And that's what I'm saying. Young people especially, please just open up, talk about it. You know, and like you say to me, I'm sorry you went through that. For me, I'm not happy that I went through it, but I'm glad I went through it.
Me
because
too,
it's
with my
who I am
journey.
today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's all part of the journey, right? You have to go through adversity to come out on top and be who you want to be.
You do.
Yeah. But it's a shame that still it's overlooked more.
It's overlooked, and I think in particular, and I don't know how you feel about this, but for men as well, I feel like it's hard. I have a few amazing male friends. One of them, Matt Dunford, who looks after Fine Grind. He works with a lot of men's mental health, and he's a real advocate for that. And and I have a lot of men in my life that really care about it and really talk, and a lot of male friends who are very open and talk about it. And we were talking about it in our early years. We sort of sit, you know, this tea set was bought to me by my beautiful friend Yaz.
Yes, I was going to say, it's a beautiful tea set, and I do want to take a sip of my tea.
I know, so do I. Shall we have a sip? Are we allowed to have a sip? I think we're allowed. Look at this. I mean, look. It's a Discoco. It's a Discoco set. I mean, you can't make it up.
I mean, I do feel like I should be sitting in Buckingham Palace right now.
Honestly, look, you literally do. I mean, it might have cooled down a little bit, but literally, we were a collective group of youngsters that used to go out clubbing together, and we've all reconnected in our later years, sort of 25 years later. But we were having these very deep conversations when we were younger. We were very sort of insightful into what was going on, but mental health wasn't talked about the generations above, like you say. I'm glad it's filtering through.
Yes, it is.
But with men, it was like, I mean, for instance, my brother, bless my brother, my dad was like, don't cry.
No.
Don't show your emotions. Yeah. Men don't cry.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like my dad.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry once.
And so even if they don't say don't cry, if they don't cry, then you don't see that emotion. And I think it's really powerful that men need to be able to express their emotion.
Last year was a very tough year for me because I was still figuring out who I am.
Yeah.
I was signed as a model, the acting side coming in.
Yeah.
And it was like, who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And I cried many times last year.
Yeah.
You know, I cried 3 or 4 times last year.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry.
It's fine.
Okay to let it out. You need to, sometimes you just need to let it out. It doesn't make you less of a man, you know. I can still go into the ring and do what I've got to do and have fun, you know. It doesn't make me less of who I am.
It makes you more.
Exactly. And it's like, again, we're so caught up on men shouldn't cry and people shouldn't, like men especially, as you say, it's not cry, man. Just cry.
I'm like, personally, if I'm around a man that doesn't show his emotion, I ain't interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, to me, a beautiful, powerful man is a man that owns his strengths and his vulnerabilities, because we are all made up of so many different parts, and it breaks my soul when you feel that people can't communicate that, or they've got themselves into a place where they feel scared to communicate that, because there's a lot of fear around it where people feel scared to communicate it. And it's important that people like yourself, because to look at, and I've said this many times, you know, people look at you and they think you're confident, you're strong, you're outspoken. Wow, he must be so confident because he's rapping, all the rest of it. You've had a journey that's got you to where you are, and you've taken all that experience and now you're sharing it with the world. That's like, that you've gone through a lot. You know, I've gone through a lot. It's not, people just think it's all shiny.
I think people do, they just think, oh, you was born like that, and that's how, and
you were born in those glasses, Valentine.
I know, tell me about it. I wish I was. Sorry, Edney and Edney.
I don't know if your mum would have wished you were born in those glasses. That might be a bit painful, but you know.
I don't know. My mum's a tough cookie. So.
Okay, well done, mum. But they do look good. But anyway, sorry, getting back to the point.
But yeah, like I think people think you're born with this confidence.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's not. You know, like even still, I have my down days.
Yeah.
Some days I'm like, am I worth it? Should I be doing this? Or you know, am I good enough? And you just got to think what you're doing, why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am good enough. I am good enough to be here and put my mark on the planet.
Of course
and,
you are.
You know, and if it's not that you want to do, go and excel in something that you do want to do, and put your whole spirit into it, put your whole being into it. And I think if you find purpose in what you're doing, it makes it easier, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And also, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. That something doesn't work.
I know.
You know, like I literally had a conversation with a friend earlier who'd thought that something was going to happen for them and then it didn't happen. But before she found out it didn't happen, she was already thinking, God, but if it does happen, what am I going to do about this?
Yeah,
what am I going to do about that? It's amazing how these things come in and come out. And then you look back, you know, it's easy to look back retrospectively, but you're like, wow, okay. That happened for that reason, and that happened for that reason.
And
do you know what I mean?
It's like with what I've been through with the MMA and that not working, then my brother not working, and then the Junction 5 thing not working, and so many things haven't worked. I could have just been like, oh, you know what? I'm done. You know, I'm just gonna sit here and crumble. But it's like you have to go through that. Things not working are what make things work.
That's how you grow.
Yeah.
That's how you, and it's like, someone said this the other day, it's like growing pains. You know, when you grow, you actually have physical pain growing. You know, my daughter's always like, her legs are like, she's like, oh, Mum, my legs hurt. Like, she's 11. She's like, my legs hurt, they're growing. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, they're going to grow a bit longer than that. And but it is in growth, you know, I think we're always growing, and I think we're always learning. But I think there's also that being open to learning. You know, you have to open yourself up to it. Yeah. And anyone that, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, but anyone that says they know everything knows nothing.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Because none of us know anything.
Not everyone.
We know our past. Yeah. We know what's the next right thing for us to do, hopefully. And we treat people with kindness and respect, and we share our gifts if we have them. Yeah. But really?
Yeah, you can't know.
What do we know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like Elon Musk said, you can have a university degree and still be an idiot, you know, or a PhD and still be an idiot, you know. So it's like, it's true. But then what I will say is what's a good anchor for me with my mental health is learning. Yes. Trying to learn as much as you can. Definitely. Because, you know, learn something new every day. Yeah. I read. Reading's great. Yeah. Reading is really great.
Come on then, tell me about some of the things that inspire you. Hit me with it. Some favorite authors, some favorite podcasts, some favorite artists.
So I'm obviously I like Jordan B. Peterson. There's a very big thing around him, and people don't agree with a lot of what he says. He's very, very, people just don't agree.
I love that. I like him, but people just don't.
Well, it's not that. He just has a very straight view on what he thinks should be done around men and women, and he has some very his opinions.
What is it you like about that?
I like. It's not that he's just very good at speaking the truth in certain situations that get you through life, right? Yeah. You know, he's very good at saying what you should be doing, and it is literally, you should be doing that, mate. You know, you should be.
So he's assertive.
Yeah, he's assertive, very assertive in what he does. Yeah. Obviously Rogan. I'm always listening to Rogan. Yeah. Rogan gets loads of crazy people on, and he's just like, again, he's very mixed viewed by people, but I just love the fact that he can go from like Elon Musk to Kevin Hart in 2 episodes, and you're like, hold up a sec. You got one of the biggest people in the world creating rocket ships, and you got one of the most comedic actors, like, you know, and it's like,
it's beautiful.
I mean, I've have loads of inspirations, musically mostly. Like Frank Sinatra is one of my.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw the jacket's coming in.
I mean, to be fair, my granddad was Italian, so I have that Italian swang in me. Yeah,
it's good. Like, I like it, and the shoes. I mean, I've got shoe envy. I like those shoes.
Thanks. It's a gentleman. It's a gentleman look.
It is.
For me, in life, I don't care about the acting. I don't care about the music or whatever I want to do. For me, in my life, is to be the perfect gentleman, right? that's what I want to do.
That's lovely.
You know, that's to uphold yourself in a gentleman manner 24/7 and be as humble as possible and guide people. I don't want to be this, look at me, I'm a rapper, I've got all these gold chains and big cars and blah.
I do.
No, but you look good in it, you know.
I ain't got my bling on today, but I like a B.A. Baracus. Yeah, I want to be B.A. Baracus. I'm taking the Mickey out
bling's
myself.
Good to have,
I'm
right?
taking the Mickey out myself.
I like the glasses. I think the glasses. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. This week's episode of The Big Chat has been sponsored by the incredible team Edney and Edney. Now, if you don't know what Edney and Edney is, these babies came from Edney and Edney. Edney and Edney will test and check your eyes, and they will fit you with the perfect pair of spectacles that will make you feel spectacular. I mean, literally, you've probably seen all the different glasses I've got. They just know. Go in there. They're a husband and wife team. Go in there and have a chat with them, and they will check out what lenses you need, and they will fit something perfect for you that's totally unique to your personality, to your brand, to your whole being. So thank you, Edney and Edney, for supporting us by sponsoring the episode of The Big Chat and a few more, but also for letting me be an ambassador, because I absolutely love my glasses. But that's such a beautiful thing to say, because I think this is what I love about the new generation of men that are coming through and are on this planet, is that they are gentlemen in the truest form. I mean, I am so proud of my son. What a beautiful young man he's becoming, how observant he is, how open he is. You know, like yourself, you're 26. There's someone videoing this who's rather a wonderful young man, and he's, you know, incredibly young and just has impeccable manners and kindness and consideration, all these things. If more people were like that, we would all work, and
it'd be smooth, right?
It would be smooth. That is exactly it. It would be smooth.
And I think also with the way equality's going and women becoming more independent, and men, we don't have to have so much stress on our shoulders.
No,
you know,
you don't.
And you can be humble, and you can open a door for a woman, and you can. It doesn't make you less of a man again. You know, it's not.
Absolutely, and also with women, I like manners, you know. Yeah. My pops, he would always walk on the other side, you know, the left side of me on the road, and he'd open the door for me. And my partner's 10 years older than me, but he is an incredible gentleman. I mean, he's like, if I get out of the car, he's like, just be careful, you know, he'll open the door for me. He'll be careful. I like that. You know, that doesn't make me any less of a strong woman. That doesn't make me any less of a businesswoman or empowered as an individual. And so it's that meeting of the two, which is what I think is beautiful. Yeah. And that's certainly what I'm an advocate for, because I think collectively you do need the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and you've got to empower all of that. Yeah,
you're right. You do.
So that's
you both
brilliant.
have to work on it for things to be as smooth as possible. You both have to be on the same level, right?
Yeah.
And you both have to, you know, women should be at an extent doing what they're doing and be able to do anything they want and have the same rights as what we us men have.
Yeah.
But then also men should be on the same level as well.
Yeah.
And things would work so much smoother if you just open the door for a woman. You know,
I'm just like looking at how you're holding your mic. I'm just like, he's such
so
a like. I know.
Like,
so I'm like, I mean, I've got this on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the lips are very.
I know they're like. And look, I'm a bit tangled up today. I
did make sure it was like non-burning.
Look at me. I've got so many wires. I'm like, I'm doing some radio presenting training at the moment, and honestly, the guy that's training me, he literally is like, Coco, what is going on with your wires? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I need to figure this out.
My OCD did go into a bit of a mad one.
I've got really bad
OCD.
I know, I'm really sorry. I need to sort this out. One of my clients actually said he can Bluetooth me up, so I'm going to hit them up, I think. Cause, yeah. So what is some of the biggest... I love just ramble.
Yeah.
What is the biggest thing that's had the biggest impact, would you say? I mean, obviously there's one that's obvious, but in the last few years that's really sort of, because what I love about what you're saying and the fact that you reached out to me, I'm not scared of reaching out to anyone.
No.
I'll reach out to anyone. To me, we're human beings on this planet, and some of us may come from different backgrounds, different cultures, but we are all human beings, right?
Yeah, of course.
So to me, I've always been that person. I'll happily go and knock on my big boss's door of some big corporation back in the day and say, "Hi, I've done this." I'm easy on that level.
Yeah, I think
you seem like that too. And what has been that thing over the last few years that has made you more like that? Because you're very grounded and you're very humble, but you also you're happy to reach out, and I would say you are assertive. You come across that way.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be. I don't like to be too assertive.
No, you're not overly assertive.
For me, I think
you're solid. Yeah, I'd say you're solid.
Well, I'm getting a bit older now.
Let's not go there. All right, okay. Come on, you're 26. All right.
Yeah, don't feel it. 26 going on 60 at the moment.
Well, you just got to drink more tea and less biscuits. That's
crack open that red wine and then.
Don't. I'm worried the videographer's going to get on the wine and he's going to go wonky the rest of the day.
It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. We were chatting about having a glass.
Yeah, I wasn't, by the way. I wasn't. Nah, not me. But no, I mean, what have been one of the things, like if you think of, I don't know, 2 or 3 things that have had a real big impact over the last few years, what would you say?
I mean, the main impact for me is my father.
Yeah.
Over my life.
Yeah.
He's always been there.
Yeah.
Regardless, he's always made sure I've eaten. He's always made sure I've had what I wanted to have. Don't get me wrong, we're getting some heated discussions and he really annoys me sometimes, and sometimes I have to take a step back because, you know, he's dad. Dad always knows best.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the fact that, you know, watching him, we never had money. You know, I remember nights we had toast for dinner and we never had the luxuries of living a happy and moderate life.
Yeah.
So watching him struggle to keep me surviving, and you know, my brother, I had to learn from his mistakes. I believe so. In the last few years, it was more like, okay, so what did my dad possibly do wrong that I can correct? What can I learn from what he also did for me that was right?
Yeah.
That I can make better.
Yeah.
And then also like looking at my older brothers and my mum, what was their mistakes?
Yeah.
How can I change their mistakes and mold it into who I am and where I'm going today? And it's just the vision of wanting to see my family happy.
That's just,
you know,
that's really, yeah.
I've always had a broken family. My family my dad's side are very argumentative and don't get on a lot. My mum's side are closer but still sort of the same. And it's always just holding on to that vision of, you know, I've always said to my mum, when I make it, if I make it, we're going to be sitting around a big oak table at Christmas, with Christmas dinner on the table in my marble kitchen. But that's the vision, you know, that's what keeps me going, to see and to be able to, like, if my brother wants to go to uni and there's your fruition, don't worry about it, there's your money, go and do what you got to do. Yeah, it's for me, it's like I would go broke to see my family eat and be happy.
I'm exactly on the same page as you. I'm I mean, the amount of people that, like, obviously I do the soapbox race as well, and the amount of people that tell me I'm mad. Yeah. They literally say to me I'm mad because it costs so much money and I raised all the money to put it on, and they're like, why do you do that? Like, and I'm like, what I get back for that, like what I get from the community, for the love, for the charities, for, you know, and that's like my community family. But also my own family, like, you know, I'm currently being able to help my brother with some stuff, and I've got an amazing sister who's like, I mean, I would love to have an abundance of wealth where I could literally just buy my mum.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
And like that giving gives me so much joy.
Yeah.
It's really, really gives me joy. I think when I was a yoga teacher, that's why I loved yoga so much, because when I was a yoga teacher, that you would have people come in that were kind of broken, and there would be this healing process that went on through the class, and then when they left, they were like lighter. Yeah. And it was just beautiful. It was like what I get back. You can't wrap that up. You can't sell that.
No, and like with MMA, when I was at Colson's, you know, you'd see so many different arrays of people from so many different walks of life, all come into the gym. You know, we all start off with getting changed, and everyone's stressed from the day at work, or they've got this going on, or partners left, and it was just craziness. But everyone gets onto the mats, and it's like it's free.
It's done.
There's no.
That's your meditation.
Yeah. There's no nastiness. There's no qualms. It's just we're on the mats. We're training. This is our anchor. Let it out, and then when everyone leaves, it's like, oh, we're all right. Life's good. I mean, I've got a cauliflower ear and my shoulder might have popped out a couple of times, but I'm all right. I'm sweet. I go to work tomorrow. Like,
that's so funny you say about cauliflower ear. I said to someone yesterday, the only thing in French I know is le petit chou, which is little cauliflower. And he said to me, I have cauliflower ears. I was like, I'm sure they're very nice. Yeah. I'm sure your cauliflower ear is very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I avoided it, luckily. I mean, I've got a little bit of scarring, but
I got a big dent on my face. I'm the only one to have crashed a soapbox. I mean, literally, I was the only one to crash in my own race. So I wear it proudly. Yeah, I think that's kind of second best to having a shark bite.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, you must have had those mates that were like, "Oh, I got eaten by an alligator.
I got stung by a jellyfish."
Just like, no, you didn't. You just did that down the road. We just saw that. But whatever. If that's your chat up line, mate. You crack on with that.
Stinging nettle, mate.
Yeah. Stinging nettle stingray. So you have got, and I mean, look, how much music have you got under your belt right now? What are we talking?
So I have a lot of music under my belt, not out as much, because like I say, going independent, a lot of stuff has come off of online, and it's now.
How can people find that? Tell me.
So I've got a link in my bio that's got my 2 independent releases so far. We have a music video dropping on my birthday, which is Valentine's Day.
Which is when this is going to be out. On Valentine's Day.
So it coincides with this.
We're going to mix it up. For Valentine. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Even though it's not today when this comes out, it will be. Yeah. So happy birthday, Valentine.
Thank you very much.
So it's dropping on your birthday. I mean, that's cool. I love that.
Yes, it was more.
That makes me happy.
It was a thought. I was like, you know what, Valentine's Day is coming up. Let's try and get a video out.
Brilliant.
It's my first properly filmed. I've got a new management company that I would like to say thank you to, GHM Wave. They've been really, really pushing me.
Yeah.
They've kind of been building an image that we need to go with, and a vibe that we want to do, and the team are just excellent. Everyone's great.
That's amazing.
And also Steve, who's been helping me out since I was in the game. Steve, Uncle Steve, I call him.
Yeah.
He knows who he is, but he's a great guy. And he's kept me on the thing. But yeah, I've got the links in my bio.
What's the name of the, what, come on, what's it called?
Well, it's called Beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lovey-dovey pop kind of, it's a good vibe. I enjoy it.
I want to hear it now.
I will show you. I will show you after.
Yeah.
I can't show you live on air because
obviously
I might get caught up.
But you will be able to listen to it today because this will be out. But I mean, that's great because we can release some of that throughout the week around this episode. Because that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I always just I'm so like impressed with. I mean, just anyone that's a songwriter, an artist, or authors. I've got friends that write books that I just think it's amazing because I can talk, but I have a block on getting it down onto paper. Even though someone said to me the other day, "What did you want to do at school?" And I was like, "I wanted to be an English teacher." That was actually what I wanted to do. It's funny. And I used to write all the time, and I used to write lyrics. I used to write all over my walls. I used to write poetry, but now I find it easy to speak. Don't really think I've got a very good singing voice, but I can. Yeah, but my son, he can sing, so it'd be interesting to see. But I just think it's so powerful getting the words down. I'm like that process. I don't know. How long does it take you to write something?
It depends.
It must depend. Yeah,
it's like whether I'm feeling inspirational or not. I mean, it could take me 3 minutes to write a song.
Yeah,
it could take me 3 weeks to write a song.
Amazing.
It's just how I'm mentally. It's mostly mental.
It's brilliant.
It's more the mental battle. How, if you're clogged up with a lot of stuff, it's hard to get stuff out.
Do you feel like it's like when you've written a song or when you've written something, a piece of work that it's like a release? You've like kind of like.
Yeah, sometimes.
But then when you listen back to it, does it give you a different feeling? I mean, I'm just interested.
Yes, I mean sometimes when I write something, I'll be like, it was good, and then I'll listen to it the next day, and I'm like, nah, mate, that was going in the bin, mate. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes I can get way too wound up on it, and it annoys me more than it, it does make me happy in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good expression of, it's a good way to release for me.
What's the thing you enjoy doing the most, like other than your music's your passion, and you said you're doing some acting, some modelling, but what are some of the other things that light you up? You got some nice friends. You got nice friends.
Yeah, but like just guiding people's more what gets me going.
Yeah,
like I've always said, like regardless of what I achieve in life, if I can help change one person's life, then I've done all that I needed to do whilst I'm on the planet.
That's awesome.
It's just being an advocate for young people. That's what gets me going. Just showing them that you can overcome whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
You can go and do whatever you want to do. It's just down to you to do it.
Yeah.
And having the confidence.
How are you going to do more of that work, Valentine?
I've got a few things lined up.
Yeah.
I want to get into a few things.
I can see that.
Also, I wanna start motivational speaking a bit more.
Good.
Because that's what I that's
well,
something.
You just done it right now.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if it was great, but yeah.
Listen, it's motivated me. So if it's motivated me, you've motivated one person. I mean, it's speaking from the heart is not something that everyone can do.
No.
And if you can do that, and then you should. I think you should do that. I think that'd be a really good thing for you to do. So
yeah, and like sports obviously gets me going, and I just seeing people smile.
Yeah,
I've seen so much sadness and gone through so much hardship. It's just making people laugh and just being a good person to be around. I'm very plain, very simple, really. I do my shifts and I do my work and that's it. I kind of stick to myself. I'm not a very sociable person throughout the week. Although when I go out, it's like so many people are like, oh, how you doing? I'm like,
Tell me about it.
Give me another shot.
I don't even get to do the shots now. I just have to go.
Yeah.
Coke Zero, please. Fantastic.
A little bit of lime.
Although I tell you what, if you have enough Coke Zero, I think it does have a similar effect to alcohol. Because I was definitely New Year's Eve this year, I'd had too much Coke Zero. I was like bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I can't do fizzies too much.
That's what it is, isn't it? Can't do fizzies. That's what I need to say now. I can't do fizzies too much. Fizzies too much.
Fizzies too much for me.
I like the lingo, Valentine. I need to pick up some of your lingo.
I definitely need.
I'm going to be like you with your brother. I'm going to steal some
of my lingo.
You'll be like watching the big chat and be like,
hold up a sec. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. That's a lyric from my song that Coco's just used there. She's like stealing my stuff.
I'm like, call to management, copyright. I'm joking.
But no, honestly, I think it's really, I've always wanted to do more around suicide because of what I went through as a child. And I've only recently, in the last month, actually shared that I did actually try and take my own life. So it is something quite big to get out there and say.
Yeah.
But actually, once you say it, it's like, it's just part of you. It's like you said, I'm not sorry that happened. And if me sharing that with someone and you sharing that with someone means it's easier for someone to talk about it or reach out about it, that's amazing. And if you've got a platform where you're able to do it, that's even more amazing.
Yeah.
So with what you're doing creatively, the fact that you want to advocate, young men's mental health and help them is, I think that's really inspirational.
I think, not so much men, I mean everyone.
Absolutely.
Men suffer.
Men, women.
To be honest with you, we don't actually know the numbers on who suffers more.
It's young people,
It's young people.
It's young people.
For me, it's everyone, from young kids to older adults.
Yeah.
If they can look at me and I can just shift them in a pattern or a way that goes, actually, you know what? I can talk about this. I can get it out. Yeah,
you've definitely got a strength in you that's empowering, I would say. So
thank you.
Yeah. Harness it. Harness
the energy.
Get it out there.
I have a very, very good friend, Poppy. She's 17, I think, just turning 18. She's very young. But she went through a lot, and she does she has a page on her Instagram. It will come to me in a second.
Yeah.
But she works with like sexually abused people, and she's young. She's got her own charity going, Friends for UK or something.
Wow.
I'll send it to you and you can
do, and we'll put it in the links.
Poppy's she's a very, very, very good young person, and that just shows who are now starting to take a bit more charge on it.
Seriously, I mean, hit me out with Poppy.
Yeah, I will.
Get her in touch.
I will get her in touch with you because, like, again, she's 17, and
it's amazing.
First time I've ever seen a young person go, "Oh, I will talk about this. I will come out about this."
Really brave,
and that's where I want things to go.
Yeah,
you know,
and it is, and it teaches you how to be a better human being. It really does. It's like the more awareness, the more self-awareness. Because it's like, I mean, I feel like a broken record, but the only control we have is the control we have over ourselves.
True.
So if we can learn how to behave better, be better, be more true to ourselves, be more true to others, then things naturally flow and align themselves. And part of that is it's hard looking in the mirror and facing up to what you've got to deal with. But, you know, if we start doing it from a younger age, the planet could be a pretty interesting place in the next 50 years, right?
Yeah. And it's the same with, I always go with, never let your fears decide your fate.
I like that.
Because a lot of people fear. What I always say, someone says to me, "Oh, how do you get into that? Or how you're doing that?" And it's like, hold up. Tell me something that you fear most in life, that you look at and go, "Oh, I should, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I should do that, but I don't think that's what you should be doing."
That's exactly. I had a friend years and years ago who I worked with, and we worked in the city. It was a very male-dominated industry, and she came outside and she was like, we must have only been about 20, and she was like, "I think I'm going to go to Bali for a month, but I'm absolutely terrified. What do you think I should do?" And I was like, "Because you're terrified, do it. Do it. You know, do it." There's a difference with fear. It's just an interesting thing because this kind of deconstruction of fear. There's a difference with fearing something if it doesn't feel right in your gut. Like that's not fear. That's knowledge, your intuition. Do you know what I mean?
Stephen Pressfield talks about this.
Yeah.
And he calls it resistance.
Yeah.
Now, fear, it works solely with resistance. And resistance is a thing that stops you from doing the things that you should be doing, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great book, The War of Art. I don't know if you've read it. So
I'd love to.
By Stephen Pressfield. It's a very, very good book.
Okay.
And he basically sits, so it's the whole, you got your son, taking your son to school. You got something else to do. I've got to take my son to school first and I'll do that later. Well, that's resistance telling you, yeah, you can do it later. You don't never get round to doing it, but you can do it later, right? And he talks about resistance, and he's saying like fear is just fear is an assumption you make up in yourself to stop you from doing things. You know, we have a fear of making it, or
fear can work the other way as well. Fear can sometimes make you do things that you don't want to do because you're fearful of the outcome. And that's like kind of gut feeling is when you're in tune with yourself and you know. It's interesting where that takes you. But it is like being, you know, "Oh, I'm fearful of letting someone down." Well, that's no. Well, if it's not right for you, then you're doing the right thing. Do you know what I'm getting
exactly
from?
What you're.
It's such an interesting concept, fear. It's not just like fearful of the greatness that you can go and achieve. It's around anything that inhibits your growth as a person. So I think the more that you can tune into yourself by, like you say, and there's always amazing things like, you know, like you mentioned martial arts. I think anything that can get you out of your head, then you get more into yourself and who you are. And you can kind of switch yourself in and out of it is a great technique. So I want to talk to you all day. Can I talk to you all day? He's shaking his head.
No, he's saying no, I know.
I just want to stay here and talk to Valentine. I think you're great. No, honestly. No, thank you. It was so good to hear from you. And it's such an interesting story. And I'm just excited to see what happens with you. You have to come back and see us again. I will be back,
yeah. I will definitely come back.
I will be back.
I'll be back.
Well, we're gonna start mixing things up a bit and doing a few co-hosts on this show. Okay. So maybe we could do a little collab in the future.
Yeah, just hit me up. You know where I am. I'm about. I'm doing me.
We could even hit you up with another pair of Edney Edney glasses. No pressure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
I mean, hello. He's a model. He might need some glasses.
I mean, these are giving me like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Honestly,
vibes,
they are. They seriously, they are. You're rocking them. And I come in this morning, I was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, did they give you some help with that, Edney and Edney? Or did you just see him and go?
Well, yeah, we was going through a few frames and like a couple were nice, a couple were nice.
Because Jamie is good. He knows.
He does. And he put a few on me that I'd never wear, and I was like, oh, I look quite swazzy in these. I like these. And he was going, yeah, they suit you. And I'm like, yeah, they do. But these just kept calling to me, and I was like, please,
they're beautiful.
Please. And he was like, yeah, you can, yeah. So thank you. I'm not sure you're going to get them back. No, I'm joking, of course.
They look good. Thank you. No, I mean, Edney and Edney are great. And they've got behind these episodes because they know that we wanted to talk about mental health and give it support. And I think that's where this whole, the big chats, things change. And for me, that's what it's morphed into more, is talking to people that inspire me and businesses and people that want to get off the ground. But also it's their hero's journey. Yeah. And that's your hero's journey that you've just given us there. So thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on. And yes, I'll definitely be back.
Be back, definitely. And just keep that amazing swagger you've got going on, because it's just like, honestly, it's perfection. And to have that with such a true, authentic voice and just to speak just so, I just think you just exude goodness.
Thank you. I always say you look good. You smell good. You feel good. Life's good.
That's nice. I like that. Right. I think I'm ticking most of those boxes today. Yeah. So
no, you are.
Thank you.
You are.
I mean, I have got to do several dress changes today, but by the end of the day, I might look a bit ropey.
I'm going to go home and put a tracksuit on today.
If you'd seen me half an hour ago, they were like, "Are you in your pajamas?" And I was like, "Actually, these are American vintage pajamas, but kind of." But anyway, the point is, you can be anyone you want to be in the world. You literally can. And don't be scared of making mistakes, because some of the best lessons learned are by doing something and learning from it.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to talk.
And don't be afraid to talk. And don't be afraid to talk to you. So if people want to contact you, what's the best way for them to get in
Just
contact?
Instagram me. You got me on Instagram. It's ITSS_VB.
Yeah.
And if you just want to have a chat, I'm there. You know, I don't mind talking. I like it. But yeah.
And listen to his tunes on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
I mean, like I've got like pink lips, but they're kind of like
Valentine.
So I feel it's been so lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on. And we'll definitely chat again.
Yes, 100%.
I have no doubt about it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye for now.
Take it easy.
Bye.